welcome back everybody. Big will be taking on Mech in just a moment, but first we gotta talk about the maps we could be seeing today. When it comes to these two teams, Kakuka, they both have a permaban. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Okay, let's say the Mech have gone back to that permaban of Haven, so that is what I'll be expecting for today. And for Big, it's actually looking pretty good because the map that that Mech has been more comfortable in is Breeze, and it's also their permaban. So I expect no surprises there. Now on the map picks, I would really like to see, for example, Fracture from both these two teams.
Oh, that'd be good as well. Like sort of Mech trying to sort of build that up again despite a strong start. And I think the picks have been a little bit more like all over the place for Mech so far because Breeze has been taken out so frequently. So the pick Bind, the pick Ascent, it's not too out there. Like Ascent's an interesting one because I remember back to Champions, Mech could not get that map together to save their life. They tried everything. So the fact that they're sort of playing on it, I think they're 50-50, won one, lost one so far. It bodes well because I think, it's the overall map pool for Mech that we need. Like, Breeze is there to rely on, but everything else is what they've been blossoming with.
Yeah, I don't blame the teams either. There's no way that Big are going to want to play Breeze against Mech of all teams. And with that in mind, let's take a look at the picks and bans for today. And indeed, Haven and Breeze have taken away. We're going to be going to Ascent, Bind, and then Icebox. Ryan, what do you make of this?
It's interesting. Again, we're seeing sort of Mech pick up that Ascent for the second time, and Bind. Yeah, Big have looked really solid on this. This has been their one map that they've looked tremendous on, right? Like they've taken up some really dominant wins on this. And Mech, again, comfortable, but not necessarily dominant on it. I think that we used to always have a team that was the kings of Bind. Yeah. Now it's open. It could very well be Big considering the form that they've been on, but it's the other free maps. If we go to free maps, how are they going to fare on Icebox? Because that's typically the third map where Big fall off and Mech just go from strength to strength.
It's very tiny right there, but I'm just looking at who's starting on the defense, because every single time that Mech has started on the defense, besides that Haven that we can just forget, they have won the map. So we know that it is a big condition for them. So the fact that obviously they picked the Ascent, they know that they're going to start on the attack with Navi. It was something that it was very, very prepared. But let's talk about that Bind, that second map, because it was when they brought in the innovation. We talk about the Fade, and actually they're going to be playing a very similar composition, or at least we expect so, against Big. We're going to be seeing Fade versus Fade. I think that there is a lot to build up out there. Also, we expect to see some Chamber coming in from the side of Big, and will be Musashi coming back in. So I'm really excited for that second map.
Yeah, well, bringing it back to the first map, I've personally been a little bit disappointed, at least Ryan, with the lack of Fade and Chamber from both sides on this map.
Yeah, I think for Mech, it's both teams, I think, play mirror comps of each other when it comes to just like Jet, Sova, bit of a change up with the Chamber to Killjoy for Chronicle, but that was up against Na'Vi, where I feel the last time that Mech played on this map against Na'Vi, it was all about the read, how much they knew what Na'Vi was going to do, and Mech were just the dominant team in that map. Against Big, this is a great chance to bring out something new and see if Mech are prepared for it.
Yeah, Aslan going on the Omen. The big difference would be exactly that Astra, that controller that we're going to see on the side of Mech. But for the rest, everything should be the same. We should be seeing Musashi and Chronicle going head-to-head on that Killjoy. That is the thing that I'm looking forward to the most. I was highlighting Musashi because I think he's completely necessary for Big, knowing that they're starting on the defense and how deadly Chronicle was on his last performance on this map. My eyes on both of them.
I'm disappointed. I feel like this would be a good time to bring out the Fade.
No.
I mean, from
my opinion.
Mech need the reps, I think. I mean, considering how much they scrim.
They shouldn't be scared. They're Mech.
It's also like they were so dominant on the defense up against Na'Vi. Now that they're attacking first, how well can Chronicle do on the Killjoy, for example? So I think there's still a lot more to see out of Mech, really. I think this is more stress testing them. But Big, yeah, it's the fact that they've kept things the same. They know how well Mech can anti-strat teams. They've got to be prepared for every single sort of set strategy they have. There's going to be an answer to it.
Yeah, I hope we do see that answer today on the server. And speaking of people going to be on the server, your casters today, Mitchman and Tombiz, will be taking you through game one.
Well, Tom, I'm certainly excited to kick this one off. It looks like we've got a pretty exciting matchup. What are you expecting to see today?
Well, supposedly I'm playing because we're going to be on the server, so I don't know. I've got to start warming up, got some DM to hit, so I guess you'll see some of the other players and probably our faces as well because we're playing today.
Well, it's time to kick this one off, Tom, and no, sadly, we're not going to be on the server. Just couldn't warm ourselves up quick enough. You know who is, though? Musashi, and I saw from him earlier on, he ain't feeling too well. He's got a positive test in there, under the weather a little bit. So I'm going to keep an eye on him, see how that affects him going forward. But I know for a lot of players, they've had to power through that recently. I think even Rock has stepped in to cover for someone who was ill, and then he got ill right before the game over in NA, still played through it. So certainly a common occurrence these days, but a test for Musashi today in that extent. And I don't think Big need any more disadvantages to play with, in all honesty.
Yeah, I think the one benefit for them going into this map is that they're going to start on the defensive side, and you might be sat there thinking, like, Tom, come on, but teams get to play both sides of the map. If you ever watched a Met game, if they start defense, they win. That's basically how it works, and I'm interested to see going into Bind as well, because it's a map that they've looked a bit shaky on, but again, it was because of their attacking sides here, so we'll see whether or not Mech have managed to fix some of those issues. Definitely looked good within the boot camp last week, and Big, obviously, they've had some closer battles, Mitch, but they're still yet to find a win.
That's the problem, right? They've never managed to make it all the way, and this is going to be well, one of the bigger challenges if Mech have turned up on top form.
Hey.
They've been up and down over the last couple weeks. We'll see how they're faring today. Twistin looking to get an early engagement here. Defo had already used up his dash, and Twistin's going to have to do that now. There you go. 13 HP on his way back out. Bit of damage done on both sides, and Mech resetting for an A take. They are running into the stack, though. 3 players here. Paranoia ready. And this is big. Great flash out. That's a lot of space. Alarm bot canceled out, but they're not able to get a kill on the back of it, Tom. Now they're sort of stalled out in the open until Twistin shows up.
Yeah, he's got his dash back. Nats on the lurk has been able to find one, and they could actually try and swing this round into a B take, but they don't have a lot of time. Nats, he's just taking this into his own hands, pushing forward, but Aslan's position could definitely make things that little bit more interesting. He might be able to deny the spike. This kill is going to be absolutely everything, and he's going to go running straight in, and instead, Aslan's got the kill. That should be the round over. Twistin with his third of the round, and more now, Redguard just doesn't have any time. Big will take themselves the pistol, and just solid read and rotations there from them.
Yeah, I think we saw a lot of good posturing in the early round. These teams are feeling it out, trying to take that control off each other, playing the push and pull around middle, but wow, 13 HP, Twistin goes in, gets 2 headshots. You can't really account for that. And I think Aslan did a fantastic job popping his paranoia, swinging out, taking all that attention on these players who were trying to duel him. And so even though Twistin had 13 HP, there wasn't a bullet coming his way. Freeze him up. Still remarkable that he hits those shots. Mech fall behind now. They're going to play a nice light buy. A couple of pistols invested into, though, Tom. They certainly want to do some damage.
Yeah, a lot of this map, especially on the attack, you're going to be watching Defo. For that reason. He's basically just going to be this blunt object that Mech are throwing in to try and find opening picks for the squad. The thing is, though, Musashi's done well, managing to survive, reposition, even hits the headshot onto Defo, and he had Aslan there to support as well. Definitely not the greatest ult to be farming up in the world, but you never know. Maybe Aslan has something special.
Yeah, the ult game could look a little bit better for Big coming out of that round, but the economy game is looking pretty strong. They get a very nice bonus round here, affording the 1 Vandal onto Musashi. Oh, he's still messing around with his funds a little bit. Hasn't fully decided on that Vandal. And it looks like they're going to take it a little bit lighter. Okay, so not having the Vandal buff in there.
In the next round?
Could be. That could very much be. I think
especially with Twistin. Like, I just feel like the way he plays this map, a lot of the time he's going to be that rotational operator. He's going to be pressuring into mid, so I don't mind if they save that up, because even with a rifle into this round, you're still going to have to take some risks, some gambles anyway, and you don't just want to be throwing finances into the wind.
Yeah, Musashi's going to be partnered up here with Aslan as well. You can see they're taking all these fights together, and they've got some ideas on the setups that they want to run, so the Vandal isn't even needed necessarily. They can still find the value by doubling up. Unfortunately, Twistin ain't going to get anything done there. That is a fantastic flash from Redgar. Great space taken. Mech overrun middle. Big now kind of stall out, and the key thing is they've split up. Now this Sheriff is alone. It doesn't have Aslan there to help. Not as quickly anyways.
The more I hear the sound of like the bubble gun, the more I want to buy it.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what it is. It's so satisfying to just hear the sound of the gun, the little bubbles. But either way, yeah. Oh, okay. Little dink. Might just put a bit of doubt into the minds of Mech. Incredibly slow on their take, and this is going to start playing into the defender's hand. Paranoia has delayed them. Musashi stuck in the corner is utterly screwed, but he still has Aslan, who's now going to take that space off the one-way. Ashen doesn't get much, and these players are getting tagged low. Luck has even got 2 with a fragment. And once again, Nats on his luck has to go and try and retrieve the spike. The issue, Mitch, time.
That is such a huge nade.
10 seconds
10
left.
seconds to cross back over now, get this plant down. He just cannot get this done. Nowhere is safe to get it planted. And he can't even find the kill. Looker getting away with a 3rd in this round. That is huge. And really, you know, sure, Looker's nade perfectly placed, perfectly timed to catch those 2 players who were low, but the sheer amount of damage that was dealt on short, it was off the charts compared to what we'd expect.
Yeah.
Mech have got to be devastated with what they've just given away. Even Musashi, he dodges the flash by stepping into the one-way smoke, comes back out, deals a ton of damage, and that opens up the room for Aslan to then follow up. An ultimate super early on, not the most useful, sure, but 3-0, putting Mech onto an eco.
Yeah, Mech are going to play for the Blade Storm here. That's the only thing that really makes sense. All gathering up in towards the B site. A lot of utility already set up on the other side just to try and deny them. But ultimately, they just want Defo to get a kill. Or even find the orb. That's the main point of this round, to try and give him something to play with. Instead, though, it seems like they're actually just going to pick up this pace into the site. He's already gone through.
Oh! The sniper came out of the wrong moment! Oh, Looker in for a double. That's going to give them at least a little bit of hope of fighting back in towards this side, but Mech have gotten away with so
Spike
much
planted.
already. This round is looking so much better than you would have thought. A Blade Storm to play with. Plant in, and well, the utility isn't fantastic. Only a Shock Dart left on the attacking side, but hell, that's worth the trade out. And dealing with this Blade Storm is going to be tough. One Paranoia on the way through, and it has to be perfectly placed.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They've also picked up rifles on the remaining players, getting suppressed as they look to try and make their move. This Paranoia is finally going to get put in, but it hasn't cleared the play. Close! They do find the kills, though. It's going to be left all onto Shados, a man you'd want in clutch scenarios. It seems they haven't spotted him. First goes his way, but there is a trade. Aslan should have enough time for the defusal as well. It's going to be pretty damn close. Just about.
Wow. A 4-0 lead for Big, a 2v3 retake, the Paranoia catching 2 players on the back, the Blade Storm. I mean, it is rare to be able to just wide swing, dry swing essentially, because Defo could see he wasn't hit by that Paranoia. To swing into him with a Blade Storm and get out of there as cleanly as you do, then let alone survive, be able to then follow up onto the second player and close out the round. I mean, that is a massive engagement by Aslan, and this guy has just turned up in every single round, it feels like.
But this is the thing that's always been infuriating in the previous roster, where he would switch roles, because the man frags out on a controller. Like, it just seems like it suits him. And don't get me wrong, he can still do the same on the jet, but it took it away from someone like Twiston, who, well, he's basically known for that duelist role. The thing I will say with Mech on the attack side of this map, one, way too reliant on Defo. Like, the amount of times it seems like they are just using utility to set up this one man to take space into the site. And I feel like they're too slow in most rounds. Now, this is the first time we've seen them really pick up the pace. They almost win it with what was ultimately pistols and a Spectre. So I want to see Mech doing a little bit more in terms of variation, because I don't think in the majority of rounds Big managed to win that. As you said, like getting past that Blade Storm without any damage. The other 2 players also, one of them being dropped instantly and leaving it onto a clutch, which Shadow still could have won. So it's a scenario that if we just see them going back to the same slow mid push, Defo probes a little bit, then they fall back into a take somewhere else, and they haven't really spread across the map. They haven't really taken any ground. Well, I would almost say that Big are just going to win this defensive side with like 9+ rounds.
Well, it certainly seems to be a similar approach here with Defo poking and prodding out on mid. You've got the supportive element of Redgar. We saw those flashes up mid have so much success earlier, but this is the problem. Big adapt to it. They adjust, and while they're ready, that is a little bit of an unaccountable shot. He just fired through the cloudburst and found him, but the point was holding from Market, getting that off angle, and being able to now avoid what had previously been such an annoying setup, putting that extra doubt into their mind where if Mech want to run this next round, they've now got to flash out market, use up a lot more of their utility. They can't think about next round just yet, Tom, because their mind's still right here and now. Good smoke. I like this from Aslan. It gives him a bit of cover to play around, and he's going to swing right out to help his teammates getting a kill before going down. And that ult has now been waited out. Redgar's down and out, but Musashi's been caught.
Oh, Nats might have a good timing here as well. It's going to be the trade back from Twiston, so even still, it's back into a 2 versus 2 scenario. They're actually going to use the lockdown, not realizing they're on the other side of the map, and also a cosmic divide. Mecha throwing everything at this round just to make sure they can get it over the line, or at least get into an afterplant. That's the main goal for now. Finally get the spike down, which, again, in this 2 versus 2, should put them in a good position, although I assume the Bladestorm will either have been popped or about to be.
Gonna be caught though. There's the alarm bot behind. Now 3 knives to play with instead of 5 around the corner, and Chronicle able to take the kill. Obnox has to do it all. And no idea where the second player is, but he's caught Nats. Okay, information to work with. Spike. Oh, the Nano buys that extra bit of time. Chronicle doesn't have to panic. He has another. He goes into the fight though. Maybe not the wisest of choices in this moment. As he swings out wider, somehow avoiding death. Both of these players carry it on, but Chronicle's the one to find it eventually. And a first round for Mech is obtained. An op save. And this is a better face from the attackers, at least. Good recovery on that early fumble.
Yeah, I think that's what I would call it, though. It's a recovery. Like, I don't think this was a good round from Mech. This was a good round from Chronicle. Like, he manages to catch players on the rotation and basically won them the round with a 4K that... Yeah, okay, there's the 1 kill coming in there, but then he closes the round out individually. Again, it's still this setup that's super reliant on Defo to find opening kills. And then from then onwards, it was like, okay, let's just blitz A. Let's just run in with the ultimate and hope that we can find the picks we need, which thus far hasn't been highly effective. Luckily for them, okay, they do have players like Chronicle, like Nats, who can win you rounds individually. But considering they're up against Big, a team, as said, in 2 seasons now is yet to find a win, I expect this to be more dominant from Mech.
Yeah, of course, new face to Big, new players in there, new IGLing and all that, but that's more of a disadvantage. It only underlines it more. This team certainly hasn't seemed to be on the form where they should be challenging Mech so far. Still, there's always a chance. It's 4-1 on the board. Things are looking good. They've got to shut them down here, though. They want Mech to get the ball rolling. Different strategy here with the dash on in. What an opening by Twiston. He's gotten out of there scot-free, and then Musashi comes back in. They try to punish him, and Twiston's back on the scene with a dash online yet again. That is a huge hold. And a big fumble by Mech, whose strategy seemed to just be bull rushing A.
Yeah, 30 seconds left to do something here as well. Spike down.
30 seconds left.
Maybe they could try and retrieve the operator just to have something going into the next round, but it seems like they're almost just set up to save. And yeah, Big off to a flyer of a start. Like, we can sort of complain about Mech all we like, but ultimately Twiston's hitting the shots. The crossfires from Big have actually been really solid. Like, you even take the round that they lost, there was that push coming in
left.
where they had that sort of cheeky little smoke to give them that crossfire they needed. They're looking like the much better side at the moment on this defense. The only thing I will say, Mitch, if Mech get to 4, I still think they close it. And then that's the thing that it's what I love and infuriates me completely about this team is their defensive side of this map, or on any map, is so much better than the opposing side. Like, it's like, even look at when they played last week. They played it versus Na'Vi, who I would say are a better Ascent team. They've beaten Big twice on it now. 9 rounds on the defensive side. We didn't even really get to see much of the attack.
Mm-hmm. And this does definitely get worrying. You see the pace catching Mech off guard there. They've got the right pieces of the A take, but that nade going down up in heaven, you've only got 1 player to eliminate the guy coming out, and normally that's probably going to be enough with the nade down as well. Like, your fragment's going to deal the damage. But when it's an op, when they're able to get out of there for free, and you saw the ripple of that, the damage that was able to come through afterwards, keeping Musashi safe, even, I would say, allowing Musashi to take that swing in the first place, it all just comes tumbling from there. And I guess, you know, you don't want to throw that fragment down. 2 players standing in main, holding it. No one's there, and now all of a sudden you've given them an extra, 5 seconds to react while you've been waiting for that to go through the air before you start that dash in. Oh, it's a risk of the approach. It hasn't paid off this time, but that's been a problem now for Mech. Every round so far, they haven't found the approach that works. They haven't found one that I would say even looks promising so far. The short pressure definitely being something, but that came on the back of ultimates and a ton of pressure. They certainly have a lot to discuss.
Even that wasn't successful.
True. Yes.
It failed, and then Chronicle just killed everyone. They haven't had anything that's been remotely repeatable or successful other than Chronicle Go Kill, which even that hasn't been working too well so far this game. A 1-for-6 ratio. Twisted again, pressuring into mid. They know this is somewhere that Mech likes to challenge. The dash, though, hasn't worked out for him. And this time, Defo will come up big. There is a reason they put a high focus on this man being able to find those entries, even if it might not be the most reliable all the time. Does manage to get it done every once in a while. Even still, though, Mitch, Aslan's found a trade.
Musashi's pressured up close here. That's fantastic. 2 down. And although Shados manages to trade, Aslan's now got Boathouse secure. Going to move out a little bit. I think this angle slightly harder to predict and avoids the recon completely, catching them off. Leaving it into the 1v1 though. Nat's not content to give it up just yet. He's going to close the distance. A surprise peek and a surprise it is. A second round for Mech on the back of it. Their early rounds might not be clean, Tom, but they seem to be getting it done in the late.
2 out of 5 times, I guess.
Hey, 2 out of the last 3 though.
Yeah, I'm still not confident, but the thing is, they do have incredible clutch players. Like the way Nats played, that was perfect. It was like he was in his opponent's head the entirety of the round, and hey, that's exactly what you need from him. Problem though, financially, they're not building up anything. Like they are winning both rounds with 1 player alive. On the other side, Big have kept it relatively clean, so they're going to have a decent purchase going into this one. It could be another instant reset if something isn't found here.
Yeah, certainly not out of trouble just yet. Drones hearing a player close. Not a ton of information to work with, and Nick back to their old tricks. You see what I'm talking about, burning up that utility. You've got the Cloudburst used, you've got the Flash to take over market to try and challenge in towards what had previously been a very tough position to hold from that op. Whether he's in market, on the switch, or up in spawn. From here though, they've got to find something. Players are in positions. Where's the return on that?
Just waiting. I'm also a little bit wary about the fact that Defo has the spike, or at least, yeah. I thought it was either on him or next to him, but no, he has it in his hand, so.
Here.
Especially with them having knowledge of his position, it does look like they're going to go for the same B split once again. Twiston is just waiting on the cross. Now, of course, there's going to be a smoke put down, an attempt to try and deny anything. Timing is not bad. Very close to getting something done here. And now both players sat in the back of the boathouse. And actually, Twiston swung out.
Now here's the flash, the initiation on the back of it, and there's just so much to deal with here. Mech running in with so little time, and Nats is going to have to, well, he's no time. He can't even get down there and planted at this point. Even surviving is going to be a challenge. They are coming from absolutely everywhere. And in the end, he'll go down. That's 6 for Big. A really, really solid performance. I'm getting worried, Tom, because, yeah, we saw those 2 rounds where Mech can make it work late, but I'm sort of relying on them figuring it out eventually, right? But it seems like they've gone back to what they started with, which didn't work.
This is the thing, right? This take from them is the same take that they make almost every single round.
Yeah.
The fact that I can say at the beginning of the game, like, you're going to have to watch for Defo in this attack because he's going to be lurking in that mid spot trying to find play. Like, it's too much reliance on this individual player to do something, and when he doesn't, it's like, okay, let's just push B. They had 2 players at the back of Boathouse. They didn't put anybody on the site even watching because they know where they're going, and they just leave Twiston onto the cross. It is the same again. Just at a faster pace this time. And again, you've just got 2 players at the back of site. Already a wrap coming round in through mid as well. They've got them boxed.
Yeah. And look, they didn't have the best of weapons, so I'm not against. What
They're gonna do it again.
What is ultimately a different strategy, I guess, in picking up the pace, but
Well, it's the same they did on the last eco round as well.
yeah, it's sort of look at it like this: what they did on its own, not bad, not bad. But in the context of this overall situation, it is a very worrying sign. We need to see something different from Mech. That's what that clearly. They've got 2 rounds attack side so far. They've come off the back of individuals stepping it up when they'd already fumbled the early round. See if they can get it right from the start this time around. Looks like, Tom, you might be surprised by this. A little bit of mid-pressure out of Defo, and I think Aslan's there to back him up. Or sorry, not Aslan. I think Redgar's there to back him up with a few flashes. I don't think I've seen this one before.
No. Weirdly, Big have actually moved some of their setup because they actually did, as we did, kind of hope that they do something different, but no. It is going to be the same pressure in towards mid. Cross being held by Obnox. Not really surprised by that. They've come to expect this. The remaining 2 players falling back a bit, but this is what I mean. He does still manage to get these openers quite often, even considering that it is the same play every round.
I feel like we've had 5 rounds in a row at Defo going, all right, guys, trust me, I can get the pick mid this round. And finally, it's come through. He's managed to deal with Obnox. But as you said, it was a change in setups. Twiston's normally there with the operator. We're playing over towards the switch. Now they've swapped it up for the A main play, keeping themselves a little bit unpredictable. But in this point, Mech have found a little bit of a weakness.
They're probably going to split B.
Yeah, well, this is the first time probably we've ever seen a B split out of Mech. Well, you know, the thing is for Big, they've been able to hold on to this every single time so far. They've been doing a damn good job. Now, you got that lockdown in play. Got to be dealt with. Looker swinging around through the smokes, and he's got an off angle. 10 seconds left, and they'll deal with him. Just about buying time for the plant. But they've lost another player, and they just keep losing him. Aslan spraying away any chance for Mech in this round. 8-2, Tom. When it rains, it pours on the big side. They just cannot stop racking up these rounds.
See, maybe like Mech heard that Gob B had left, and that meant that Mech should consistently go B. Like maybe that's their thought process of they're not going to have this man defending it anymore. I don't know. I'm lost for words. Just seeing the same thing over and over again, and then the result is exactly the same. Like for Big, they've just again continued to play more passive around that B site. Fantastic delay work, and sure that was one of the closer rounds, but I don't know. It's almost like they think the scoreboard's backwards, and they're like, yeah, 8-2 up, let's keep doing it. It's mind-blowing.
Well, they changed it now, and then got caught immediately by a knife, so they've been tagged up. Interesting. Okay, a big attempt at a play for A. Unfortunately, they've only sent 1 player here, and he's died instantly. Gives everything away. And Big are realizing, yep, probably going to be a B play here. Good thing for them. They've got nano swarms inside of main. So getting out of there is going to be pretty tough. Musashi's taken down Redgar. Here comes the nano. Jet's already out now, isolated from her team, but has that little bit of an off angle, has that pressure to apply. Twisted needs to be worried about that left side. Defo's been dealt with now, though, so that's no longer a thing. Out comes the shorty. Put it away, man. 3 on the back of it as well. A flawless round from Big, and damn near a flawless half so far.
That's the great thing about Twiston, is you can either stack the B site with multiple players, or you can stack it with just Twiston, and that does exactly the same job. 9-2. I honestly, I'd like, this is one of those things where it's like Mech picking a map, they have to start attack, and it just has never looked good this season. It just hasn't. And, well, Big on this defensive side are absolutely blitzing them. And that's the thing already. 9 rounds, 10. Like, we talk about the fact that Mech are very good at bringing these games back, but it's looking like it's already past the point of no return. Twiston's feeling so confident in his ability. And no matter what you think about Big, this man is one of the scariest duelists in the league, even if the team haven't been winning.
Twiston's in, trying to make a big play. Aslan's there to back him up, and so is Looker. But even despite that, the flash that went through moments ago, they are in trouble. That Killjoy ult has managed to detain Looker.
Spike down mid.
They've returned a frag. This is a little bit awkward now for Mech with the spike down in the open. They have to completely cancel their plans. Their whole idea, even hunting down Looker, has been put on the back burner as they attempt to fight backwards. Nats, though, able to find that shot, and now he turns his eye back towards the position he knows there's an opponent in.
This duel could be everything.
Enemy remaining.
Nats' lurks again do come up a little bit fruitful. It's going to be left onto Obnox. I think he might just try and find some sort of timing through the smoke, but they're very ready for it. In fact, he's going to just swing out. Nats will close out a third round. Mech just about managed to at least give some hope of the of the curse. But they need a pistol, Mitch. And again, I want to caveat this for anybody out there who's like, oh yeah, Big looking really good. This is where the hard work begins. If they win the pistol here, I'm fully in the favor that they'll probably close out this game. If Mech win the pistol, annoyingly, there is still hope.
Yeah, very much so. If Mech win the pistol, we have a game on our hands, and that's the scary thing. If you're Big, attack side's going to be a challenge for sure. I'm seeing a lot of players grouped up outside this B site. Looks like a little bit of mid pressure soon to come through. But Mac, you're thinking of the same. Push up in B main, the sneaky position for Redguard. No, he's actually going all the way up and around the corner. A dry swing in and 3 kills.
Down.
Like, what?
I want to see that. What? How did Defo get 2 there? It looked like he was jumping into the angle. Oh, it's just madness. It's already begun. It's like they see defense side and they're like, BS mode activated, and then there's nothing that Big can do already. It's ridiculous that I'm now already worried for Big, and we're not even through the pistol round yet.
Yeah, the best part about that was Defo was jumping with the sheriff as well.
Yes.
So, you got a big reset on that, and this guy doesn't care. 1 bullet, doesn't matter. He'll hit it on the head right away. Wow. I mean, what do you do? I don't know how Big recover this one. Literally, they are hoping that someone swings, someone makes just a really silly mistake. But Mech are tucked in. They know how important this pistol round win is. They've got a whole army to deal with these last 2 players. 4 rounds on the board for Mech. It's not much, but it's the foundations of the defensive side. And the ability to get this economy rolling, potentially. Come into this one up against an eco, at least. This... Just get out, man.
The thing is, I'm genuinely sat here like they're gonna win this, and I never do that with any other team at 9-4. None. No one in the world. Even if you're looking at an Optic, who are currently like the #1, I can't do it. But with Mech, I'm just like, yeah, probably. I'm really hoping that Big proved me wrong, especially after that first half, because Mech did not look good. But this is where they thrive. This is why they picked this map. Already going to be getting information. Twiston trying to just rat, of course. He is... I think it's not that crazy to say that he might be the best shorty player in the world, which is not a title I think anybody else is really vying for, except maybe Durka.
Yeah, not exactly a plaque you'll be hanging up in your house. I'm the best shorty player.
He would.
But
Twiston would. Twiston,
considering what he does with
center.
it, fair enough. I wouldn't be, but if I could do what he did, I'd be a different person.
Yeah, after that 3K at the back of sight, fair enough. Fair enough. The gun's pretty good. Very slow from Big. Of course, they're just hoping that anybody makes a mistake over peaks, over faces, but... Well, we've already seen a very passive attack come out from Mech. It's no surprise that we're seeing an even more passive defense. They've got the utility set up, obviously with Astra combinations as well. There's no way to really burst into these sites with ease, and honestly, getting past Chronicle is going to be tough enough as it is.
And that Bulldog's sitting there, waiting for the fight. In comes Twiston, shorty in hand, trying for the plant already. It looks like he's going to be getting it as well. Spike planted. Sure, he goes down, but here there's a chance for at least a little bit of that. Never mind. At least a plant. Hey, at least a plant. They get an orb. That was cleaned up quickly.
Sue has pointed out that Sugar Zero is also in the running for best shorty player. I will say I feel like a lot of his was on Fracture, but he's definitely within the running, especially because he doesn't do it on a duelist.
I do also think if you sit in one position and get pushed by a team 10 times out of 12, and you shorty someone 10 times out of 12, you know, it's like maybe it's not all you and the shorty. Maybe it's them.
Yeah, because I think Laz also got some shorty kills in that game.
yeah, it was some interesting gameplay going on. What's remarkable about Twisted is just how versatile. So,
right, guys, I'm clear. I'm clear.
In case you're wondering, that's not what he meant to do. Well, Killjoy, yeah, when she damages herself at the start of the round, of course, she gets angry and does extra damage. No, that was a little bit of a mechanical breakdown from Musashi there. Mech, content.
I think my brain's having a mechanical breakdown.
Yeah, barriers didn't quite go up as quickly as he thought, maybe. Oh, we're on the way through, inside the smoke and out of it. Fucker's just running it down.
Now, welcome to our game show of how many kills does Chronicle get? Stuck in position. Is he going to get cleared? He is going to get cleared. They've pinged him through the corner. The answer was 0. I don't think many people would have guessed that, but good work from Big to make sure he doesn't get away with murder. You've got 3 players looking to try and get in on the retake. Of course, the goal here for Mech is more to just make things costly, but when you're at the scoreline they are, making it costly might not be enough. And on the other side of things, Big are doing very well just to delay.
Oh, that spray's good for Looker. He'll get a 3rd before going down, and I think he's done enough at this point. Mech is 5 HP on Defo, and he'll go down to a headshot, leaving Nats all alone. And you know, whilst he needed an ace to get that one in the bag, it was looking damn close. A decent amount of damage done by Mech, I have to say, all things considered, Tom. It's still a successful round.
Yeah, it's in isolation, you're probably quite happy with that, but now they have to return instantly. It's not one of those scenarios where they can let a round or 2 slip because you're basically giving the game away. And, well, for Big, if they can get something done with any of the ults, no command going to be in play, especially when you're up against the likes of a KJ. That could be quite interesting. But have you noticed he's actually put his utility down on the opposite side of the map to what he's playing, so that if they do no command, it's not going to affect him.
Here we go. No command coming through. Pressure to be applied. Big going for a little bit of a mech play on this one. Let's see how the defense handles it this time around. They had no success when Mech tried this on their attack. And Big have actually stalled here. 110? They're happy to pump the brakes. I mean, why not? But it's the position of the spike that's kind of throwing me off on this one. You're going to commit to it fully. And that drone out. Well, oh, God, Looker's got him through. And then what happened to the bullet? Did it go through his legs?
I don't know, but it's definitely a little bit whiffy. The thing is, you've still got Redgar within the site, but slowing this down and actually going for the rotation back, they're going to have the A site for free. This is looking great for Big. They have read this round almost perfectly, and just leaving a couple of players here is going to even just hold them that little bit longer. Musashi even gets tagged up, but they don't expect him to be close. If he can get this kill, the round's already done, and more Chronicle left into a 1v4. Fantastic calls from Big in this round, and while he's going to need a miracle here, and I don't think he's going to get the chance.
No, well, you can see that nobody on Big is really moving out of position all too much. In fact, they've even sent Musashi looking for him over towards that B side, clearing everything out. The Chronicle still ratted away. See? Right, yeah, he's going to spawn. Okay. I was like, there's no way he's going to try ninja that. There's a kill at least, and he shouldn't be punished. I think Musashi's going to try to make it over to him, but yeah, he's took him way in the spawn. There's just no need to give this away. Oh!
No.
Yeah, he wasn't going to step all the way forward, but I got worried.
No, I like that round from Big, especially because they popped the null command. There's always going to be that scenario where you, like, almost just because you've got that ult active, you really want to put the pressure on. Instead, they played with the rotations, waited for people to get over aggressive, waited for Mech to peak, and this patience works out wonderfully for Big. You've also got Aslan and Lucka both having fantastic games. We expect this from Twiston at this point, but the fact that both those players are popping off, it's left Mech in the dirt, and well, really in the dirt. Sure, they've got a Blade Storm, Mitch, but the weaponry behind it is not fantastic.
No, it's not exactly going to be strong for a lot of these fights. That's decent for Defo, an opportunity. Managed to avoid the op shot of Twiston as well. Nothing delivered. And that Blade Storm, Spectre, the Bulldog. Weapons don't really want to be taking fights. Oh, although then I look, the Bulldog in Nats' hand, and he's playing backside. Who knows what this man's going to be able to get away with. Especially with the support of Redgar, as the flashes have been on point. They're hearing some of the noise from Big. They know the A side is being sought after. They got the nade down just to clear it out fully. And now here comes the push, but Twiston can't use his Blade Storm.
It seems like they're just going to wait it out. Full rotation coming through from the other side. Sure, Chronicle now starts to make his move back, but if Big continue in this direction, they're going into a stacked site of Mech players. It didn't look good with this purchase coming through, but the positioning seems as good as could be, and the timing might be even better, but Lucka still gets the kill here.
It's the lack of information that forces you forward to try and make that little bit of a play right into the hands of the waiting aggressors. Nats. Oh, he's still getting away with a kill. Delaying the plant, but he can't hold on long enough. 2v3 retake on the cards. Mech are going to once again have a very tough time on this one. At least one player's been spotted up above. Chronicle still making them wonder a little bit, but now he's shooting away, making that noise. Do they realize that's both players? Because it could technically have been the guy from Heaven sneaking down. I think they're going to wait a moment, but now, there, Killjoy. I think they knew Sova was on the other side, so that's all the info.
It's going to reveal Aslan. He's actually been taken out, but you've still got the trades coming through. It's left all onto Chronicle. Time a ticking, and Obnox just sat in an afterblood scenario. Aslan still on the site. 12-5. The comeback now looking unlikely, if not impossible. No matter how strong Mech's defensive side is expected to be thus far, Big have been far the better squad on Ascent.
Wow, I am never going to hear the end of this from Looker if they end up taking this
series.
series.
Yeah, you predicted Mech to win, didn't you?
Yeah,
as one of
Mitch,
Lucker's
you were
friends.
that one guy that predicted Mech to win, weren't you? Hey, Mitch, hey, yeah,
but
of course
you
I
are
did.
also the guy that predicted
about?
Oglu to get out of groups because you like hype so much. So
I don't know.
Does that just mean you don't like Lucker as much?
Whoa. Oh!
What? Musashi's just been finished. I can't believe that's just happened. That was based off nothing, was it?
No, it was just a spam. It was just, I think it was just a wild spam.
I don't even know. There was a dart, but I don't know if it was fired.
Used. Yeah, I didn't see where it was used.
Oh, even still, that's nuts. Of course. Just deciding that there was still a little sprinkle of BS left remaining for Meg to maybe get themselves around here. Flash in. Defo's still looking to get aggressive. Timing not really working out. He's not going to spot much within middle. And Aslan on the other side of the map is at least trying to sell information onto short. Even still, though, it looks like this mid press is the main part of this round.
Defo certainly feels like he's got the timing here. Oh, he's going to be naded out, though. He's already used up his dash. He wanted to try and get in and get aggressive right then and there. Reveal not quite spotting him. He's been seen on the crossover, though. Twiston able to capitalize on that, but nothing else. Redgar steps up for another two. That is massive. With Looker down, they can... he hasn't got the spike! He hasn't got the spike because he couldn't... He's just stuck trying to res.
Oh,
that's a lot. I've never seen that before. Of course, he's trying to use his bind to pick up the spike and just hitting the res again and again and again. Wow. Well, That's unfortunate.
That whole round was unfortunate. But please don't we have a replay of the kill onto Musashi. Like, please, it's just so that. Oh nope, we're floating. Oh no, we're going back to this instead. Yep, we can't pick up the spike. But no, that initial kill was just unbelievable. Like, just straight spam through the wall. Then you can't pick up the spike because your teammate's down next to it. It's a round they're going to want to forget. But still, 6 in a row needed for Mech to even take this to OT. It's a very long road, and I think the big great, a little bit of revenge. Shados is spotted jumping, and Lucka takes him down. Defo tries to even things up almost instantly. Well, they're spamming once again.
Oh, the head seen Redguard taking him down, and out goes Nats for more. There's always a second Mech player. If there's someone left behind to take down, there's someone there to trade it. It feels like this time, though, Nats is going to be taken down alone. And, well, second Mech player there to take that fight. It's Chronicle onto Musashi, dropping the spike, and a double push to come out of this to close the round. Mech aren't giving up all that easily. Now 5 behind, but they've got to get those in a row. There can be no errors here on the defensive side.
Yeah, and I think in a lot of the early rounds, they've been baited out by rotations. I think the calling from Lucka, I assume, obviously it changed from Musashi. We were told initially that it became Lucka. Lucka's call's a bit on point. Like, the rotations they've had have been superb. It's just over the last few rounds, we've started to see some fairly aggressive takes coming out from Mech, like almost shutting them in to limited map control, which in the early rounds they had for free because you could see almost this turtle control of Mech. Now taking a pause, of course, still plenty of rounds to play with, still very much within the driver's seat, and well, I think we're going to need at least a few more rounds on the board before we start to believe that Mech can turn this around.
Yeah, for sure. This isn't the sort of situation that you can get too carried away with yourself. Like, there's 5 rounds in a row to find, and even though Big had a fantastic showing on that defensive side, just take a look at that round counter. You see that sure, they managed to clock up a lot of defensive rounds, but 5 in a row? I don't see that anywhere. And Mech, well, they need 5 in a row from this point forward. It's a big task. And I even just thinking about it as if Big save up their ultis, right? Make that big splash of a round where they come in with 5 and do everything that they can. I mean, it's just so difficult for Mech to consistently rely on picking up these rounds. And now we come into this round number 20. First of many to come if we're going to see an overtime here. And a recovery from Mech on what I believe was their map pick.
Yes, next coming up is Bind, which they definitely looked a little bit shakier on. Of course, they will start defense on this map, and trust me, that can make a difference. Already, though, Defo is going to kick things off. Aggressive peek out, but it's an instant shot. Actually, Twiston's found another one. This starts to get a little bit shaky until Nats just slaughters them. 4 kills in a matter of seconds. He's even going to try and get his buddy up just before the round ends. 8 on the board for Mech. And Nats is having a game. Like, it is wild after that first half that he is now the top fragger in the game. Joint.
One enemy remaining. Spike down A.
Wow.
I love how Red Guy gets 4 assists lying on the floor. Don't worry, guys. I'm helping. I'm helping. Can you get me up, please?
Defo wanted to get aggressive early there. He's almost caught Twiston. If he peeked out a little wider, stuck out a little longer, the fight would have come through. Dash online. He wants to try and take this fight, and it's going to be the shorty.
Revenge.
Twiston falling victim to it, and Shados delivers. Out comes the op for another. Oh, this is decimation in the early round. Big getting absolutely nowhere as the 3rd kill comes in for Defo. The man is farming up that ultimate, and they've got the spike down in the open.
Not from top 5. Not from top 5. Come on. Like, the thing is, you expect it to happen almost off the bat with Mech, but it just seems like there's a we could lose filter that they just go, oh, okay, we're Mech again. And these last few rounds, okay, they got a little bit close to the pistols, then Nats gets a 4K. This round, Defo swinging into mid just basically destroys their entire team. it's starting to get incredibly scary for Big, and that's the thing.
30 seconds left.
The problem with Big, and this has been the problem, as said, the last 8 matches they've played within the VCT, they always get close, and then they never close it out. And I am scared that's going to happen again.
Well, 5 rounds in a row seemed unlikely, but they're almost getting to that point now. Just 3 more left to go. Economy of Big certainly looking a little bit shaky. This is a very worrying prospect. You know, we saw Mech come in very shaky on that attack side, and it looked like they were lost for new ideas, but as you said, Tom, they're just a whole different beast when it comes to defending. They always have been. 3 more needed. Big challenge. The attackers have a bunch of ultimates to work with. We said this could be a big difference maker, but it's not likely to be in this round. The Blade Storm for Twistin, though, always going to be a threat.
Yeah, they could really use him to just close it. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I think the closer this gets, the shakier it's going to become for Big, and the more likely Mech are to take it over the line. They're still 3 rounds behind. They have ultimates to play with on the Big side right now, but the weaponry is the main issue. So Twistin, I feel like he has to be the one to take charge here. Minute left on the clock, not really being pressured. It seems like Mech are more than happy to play this one a lot more passively. I think knowing what sort of weaponry is in play, and also just having utility setups on both sides of the map. The only real hole in the defense is actually going to be mid, but instead it looks like they're going to run in towards short.
Looker's gone down on the crossover. They need someone to buy that space,
30
and
seconds left.
oh, this Blade Storm hasn't been able to find a victim yet. There's one to start with. It gets awkward. It gets very awkward. The knife is out. And a shorty missed, and Twistin is standing alive on site. A bad note for Musashi as Redgar falls, and it looks like they're gonna get a
10
plant.
seconds left.
Nats is a little bit too late
this
to the
kill might be
party.
free.
He'll catch Twistin though.
It's free.
Spike
This could be a
planted.
return on the knife. He's gonna sneak up. Oh, that was way too close. Low HP on Musashi. 45 in the tank. Stars are down. Gravwell in play, but he's moved. He's now on the back site behind the boxes. And the spray just not landing for Nats. Behind those concrete pillars, he waits and now looks to take the peek. Musashi biding his time, creeping around and landing it. What a way to close out this map, Tom. Big will not fumble it. They'll take it 13-9.
Wow, what the hell did I just watch? That's one of the worst rounds of Valorant I think I've ever seen. 2 players battling with a shorty and a knife to try and close out the game. It's filth. It's things that I just don't want to witness. And even then, it still looked like Nats was going to be able to close it out. Very whiffy as well from Redgar at the end.
Oh, yeah.
This is not the best look from Mech we've ever seen. And now, well, they need to go back onto Bind.
Yeah, certainly back to the drawing board for Mech when it comes to that map. But as they get to start on the defensive side, we certainly have a lot more faith in them coming up. That's where things make a big change. You know what, Tom? Let's get things off to a break because we're going to have that map coming up in just a little bit. Up next, though, we've got our analyst desk.
Big, they have a chance to snatch their first win here at VCT EMEA Challenges, and that has grown exponentially after taking down Meg. On map 1, I've got Kakuka and Ryan with me here. Big, they've won maps before, but to do it against Meg, Ryan, I feel like that's a big deal. This could be the day where they finally snatch a win.
Yeah, on Mech's map pick as well. It's just continuing this sort of thing that's happening in EMEA where people are so trash on their own map picks, but could beat on an opponent. Just even from the first half, right? You're sort of looking at it like 9-3, 10-2 half for Big. You still expect sort of Mech to come back into it. But what a fashion
Let's
to
repeat
end.
this moment.
Oh, God.
The best part about this This is the second left-click knife kill that Twiston has got in VCT. That's his second. He did it in the qualifiers because me and Zestra watch partying it. He did something similar, just jumped out of the smoke, started slashing at people, and is able to get a kill. Why is it always big? Why is it always Twiston that's able to do this stuff?
It's just insane. I mean, but especially if we focus on that first half, we go back to the Meg that needs 4K from Chronicle to even get around, or some clutchy performances, because they were so obsessed with that mid control and repeating the same B split over and over. Maybe because they didn't want to repeat what they did against Guild, because they did a great job reading them. And the response from Big was there every single round, just going on the hunt for them, granting the first kills, and actually, you know, pretty swiftly. But I thought that after a 9-3, the Mech were going to get this.
Tom summed it up pretty well in the cast, where he said that the attack inside of Mech was predictable because it felt like it was on rails. Like, it's almost like if it was a roller coaster, that's Mech's attack inside. Just go up B, Defo go a little bit further, see if he gets kill and resets over. Goes up mid and then over to the B side. It was just Groundhog Day constantly with this attack, and it made Big's job very easy on that defense.
Yeah, I can't believe Mitch said that Mech were going to win this confidently. As the only person in the world that said that, I feel like that was a bit of an oversight from him. But all jokes aside, I think on another day, Kakuka, I think you're right. I think 3 rounds for Mech, given how well their defense have been, is enough. But why do you feel like in this occasion that it wasn't?
Because Big knew that they were going to be playing on this map, and it's exactly what we saw against Navi on the previous week. They know what the first map is going to be. They prepare very well for that. And the attack, all those fakes that Mech were not performing on their side, Big definitely brought up, and with the performances of Musashi just staying on the back or getting onto the side and granting the kills from there, what the other team is executed on the other. Also, especially on this last round, we see Twiston going with his ultimate, dodging Chronicle and short, being like, no, that's the ultimate boss. I'm not going to take this fight. I'm just going to follow up on who's coming in through May and trying to get the timing off on that kill. But that is diligence. That is what we needed. Part of the fundamentals of, keeping to your role and knowing exactly where you have to do, where you have to be and what you have to do.
Yeah, and speaking of Mitchman being wrong, which I feel like is every day anyway, but him betraying Laka, Ryan, after these years of friendship and camaraderie. But you pointed him out as one person that we wanted to see to step up. And do you feel like he's done that?
I mean, this is the best performance he's been. Not only statistically, I think a lot of the multi-kills was him just holding an angle at 4 members of Mech just run down.
But you have to choose the angle.
Yeah, running down catwalk on B, Luca's just there waiting. Like here, just literally just one example. This was consistent, but also the calling as well. The mid rounds, just being able to perfectly read what Mech were doing, but also on the attack, the rounds where they went B and then they reset. I think it was round 16 where they left Musashi over towards like the switch on B and everybody went A. It was those kind of moments where it was like, I was expecting Mech to be the one anti-stratting and dismantling their opponents like they did against Na'Vi. It was Big that dismantled Mech.
I think that also the combos that he was doing with Obnox, even though Obnox was like, a little bit absent on the kill department, we saw on that play that all that reveal, all those combos and peeking at the right time with the flashes is also added to the recon and knowing exactly what the players are going to be.
Yeah, and Ryan, I know you picked this shirt today for a reason, so I'm going to go let you show why you chose to wear this.
So, for anybody that's saying that EMEA has regressed, let me show you this round, because I thought it was some really good utility that comes out of Musashi and a nice anti-strat that comes in from Mech. So this is a nice lineup for all Killjoy players, all 2 of you that are still playing it on Ascent because everybody wants to play Chamber. So basically, you line it up here, and you right-click it, you put it on the floor.
No, Ryan, you're not doing this.
You basically confirm. So watch it again, because it's really important. Like, really important that you get this right. It's really hard to get that lineup. It basically confirms, if we push it up, that this is clear. All of this. It's really important. Like, it's the fundamentals, right? So making sure that this is clear is incredibly important. But Mech know how important this lineup is, so they have a bit of an anti-strat. So this is, again, a couple rounds later. Look at the positioning that actually comes in from Redguard, who, as Sue's pointing out, good friends with Brave, who was the wallbang master on this map, knows exactly where Musashi was going to put that lineup because of how important it is, and wallbangs him straight away with the Guardian. And I guess, you can't say that EMEA's regressed when you have strategies like that. Reading into, individual play, it doesn't get any better than that.
Honestly, I don't know what FNS is going to do against that. I feel like they got to do a lot of work to be able to counter that.
Think about the amount of confusion that you created on your opponent, being like, why did they just nano swamp this? Like, what have we done in the past that can be countered?
What are they up to?
Out of all of the great things that Big did
Chronicle, where are you? Was that yours?
Yeah, you could have shown anything that, that Big had done.
And I
on
showed
map.
that.
Yeah, but anyway,
gonna be serious.
speaking of Big being able to do some cool, organized, techie things, Bind is where we have the most belief in making that happen. They've already done the hard part of winning on Ascent, but Kukuka, as you've said, is it even difficult for them because they always win that first map 3 out of 5 times? They've won their maps. They've played that first map that they've won. It's been the first map. But Bind, it's pretty good for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I think it's also the fact that this is like a chain reaction, okay? So Meg decided to pick this map against Navi. Navi won because Meg was starting on the attack. And then Navi picked it onto Big. Big prepared for that map, the first one that we saw from them on that best of 3, and they won it. So now they peek it onto Meg, and then the circle just closes.
Holy Trinity.
Yeah, the Holy Trinity just closes, yeah, but with teams. The problem is Meg is going to start on the defense. So that it gives us the hope. We also need to see more of that fade, I hope, coming in from Rhaegar and actually see the improvement. It will be very exciting. You said that you were sad that we didn't get to see fade on that first map, but we will most likely see it from both teams on this one.
I still feel that this has consistently been a great map for Big. Like some of the results that they've been able to take, they almost took their first series win when they were beating Navi, but it went to overtime, went to a third map of Icebox, and they lost it. And Mech, this has been a map that they've been awkward on for the longest time, right? Like even going into like Champions, this was a map that they were in control of, but sort of lost it. And now it'd be a great time to show up again. But I do think the favorites here are Big considering how they perform. And Twiston's on form. He's now moving over to the Rays. He can continue to make that work.
Are you willing to bet on Big taking this here? Their first ever win in VCT?
Against Mech?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay, Ryan. Wait, where's Vincent at? Take your mask off. It's Vincent, isn't it?
If it goes to a third map, if it goes to a third map, then Mech have it. But it's just the fact. It's just I just need to be like talking about the Autobahn now as well. Just like, what's he say at the start of his quizzes? I'm not even going to try and like,
anyway.
Wunderbahnn.
Yeah. But what about you, Bear? I saw you shaking your head when Ryan said he was confident.
It's Meg started on the defense. I would love to see a great performance from Big. I would love even, because the stakes are still there. They can still make it. We were talking about all the permutations. So I would like to see it happen. Why not? But I think it's going to go for
the 1.6% chance of making playoffs.
Hey.
Yeah,
it's coming a lot.
You got to start somewhere, okay?
They still got a better chance than G2. But anyway, we are into the agent select now, as Kukuka said. We're expecting to see the 2 fades up here, but also a chamber too.
Yeah, exactly. On the side of Big coming in from Musashi, that is if nothing changes. But we know that these teams, things from Meg didn't work out. Maybe they go back to the Ascent composition. Who knows?
I kind of want to see Lucka play Raze, but yeah.
Over on the fade.
Yep, over on the fade.
Yeah, consistent really so far. And fade is something that we did see from Meg beforehand. Seems that are they going to still want to pick it up? So yeah, we do see a consistent trend now with fade being played a lot over on this map. And yeah, the 2 Razes, Twiston versus Defo. It was a great matchup in the first map on the Jets. Now over onto the Razes, I think Twiston's a firm favorite. And Defo, we wanted to see the flexibility on that duelist because it's much more than playing Jet nowadays. This would be a great time to take control.
Yeah, I think that Big were not very scared of Defo on that first map. Probably is what they were on the hunt, and they were not actually afraid to take that duel onto mid, and probably what they give them so many rounds on the defense. As I said, to me, it's all about the fade. I want to see the progress on Rhaegar. Now that they started on the defense, I want to see something extra from them, and I want to see how they face that chamber.
Well, you said 3 on attack was enough for Mech. How many do Big need on their attack here, do you feel like, for them to be able to close it?
I say 4.
4? Okay.
5.
Ooh, okay, I'm excited to see.
And pistols. I think pistols are very important in this.
Well, pistols, pride, and playoffs. These are all the things that are on the line here for Big and Mech. Over to you, Mitchman and Tombiz.
Thank you so much, Yinsu. Well, Tom, kicking off this one on Bind, I did not imagine in my wildest dreams that we would be looking at a mech that needs a reverse sweep. That's something we don't get to see every day.
Yeah, I think just like the Team Liquid fan base, Mech like to keep their fans on edge, so it would be the most Mech thing in the world to just lose the first map and then come back, start defense on the second one. I'm not feeling confident with them today, but they did start to build back into that second half. So a pistol win here, I still think there's a lot to come and a lot to show from this roster in general.
Yeah, most definitely. They can get the ball rolling on that attack side early with a pistol win. We'll see if that comes through as we dive on into this map. The attack side for Big. Now, we've talked about this a bunch. Mech's defense, it can be fantastic, and we saw the comeback on the previous map and the different face that this team brought to it. Now they get to start here, and to be honest, Tom, it's not exactly like it's a map they're uncomfortable on. I think this is somewhere that Big certainly have their work cut out for them, but now with 2 chances to close this out, it's a serious threat to Mech.
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's. I think a lot of the ball is still within their court. I don't think this map is going to be easy, though. And already you could just see the sheer level of aggression from Mech. They've angered the beast, and Shados has already found an opener.
Damage has been returned on the other side. Just 30 HP left for Chronicle. Redgar narrowly avoiding that bullet. Doesn't get too much off the back of that now. I mean, knowing that there's players outside, but he got that info a second ago. Prowler burned up at least. Nats forces out the TP. I mean, it's lots of utility-based fights. And that nade down, that was a big attempt, followed up by another Prowler, and Redgar's got the kill, but doesn't expect any more.
Oh, it's close, but it's still going to be the kill for DAY2. He can't quite correct, but the trades are there. It's left all onto Musashi. He had a beastly performance on this agent when it came to Fracture. Still yet to see the best of him within this series, and he's not going to be able to predict the wraparound from Chronicle. It's Mech to get the pistol and get off to that flying start on the defense.
I like that we're seeing right away from the very first round, the C's, nade combos from both teams are coming in strong. So we're certainly expecting this to be one of the maps that we write home about the use of Fade. And I think between these two teams in particular, I'm very excited to see what Redgar, Looker, Defo, and Twistin have up their sleeves, respectively.
Defo, for me, is the main one, because last time we played this map, granted, it was the same as what we saw in the last. They got 3 rounds on the attack and then had to try and play the defense. He was 0-6 in opening duels, which is it. Watch the last map, they had such a reliance on him when it came to the attack. Now, luckily, starting defense, a lot of the time, teams are so mentally doomed by that point that it kind of doesn't matter so much, but I feel like he needs to have a better performance because there are a lot of star duelists out there, and he definitely, when it comes to like LAN events, I've always said I think LAN Defo is a completely different player, but we're not on LAN right now, and I want to see a solid performance from him.
Well, we pop into the last minute, and not too much has gone down, but the fight inside of Hookah is certainly brewing. With not too much for Big to play with, you don't expect those duels to be all too favorable. Normally, you run into a judge there. You'd think with the Spectre on the other side, although in this case, that's probably worse. They're pushing down mid, taking the space, keeping range in their favor, and I think at this point, Obnox, look, if he can just grab 2 kills, that'd be great, but even 1 will probably lead to Redgar just picking up the dropped weapon.
Yeah, and they're going to get absolutely nothing. Similarly to what we saw in the last map, defense for Mech just so clean on those starting rounds. Already getting a little bit closer to the orbital strike, but ultimately there are no ults online. So that's going to be a very good spot coming in here for Big because they just have to rely about some of these closer angles. Now, I will say Bind is one of those maps where there's a lot of opportunity to make cheeky plays. And I will say that Mech are some of the masters of that on this defensive side, but realistically, if I'm going to have confidence in Big's attack, I want to see them winning this round with minimum 3, but ideally 4+ players.
That's already under threat. Oh my. In goes the Prowler as well as the Haunt, so we've got information doubled up on, but no kill.
Poison's off.
And I think the key thing was to find out if those players were backing off with the Prowler, right? As it followed up on the trail left by the Haunt. You'd see if they'd ran back around, but instead they saw these players are still close. They're still very much looking to fight. So Mech reset into this 3-man hold on A. Now, I like what they're doing here, having a player up close inside of Hookah. keeping up most of the control, but they need to be able to avoid being picked off by this push on the way through. They've got another Haunt online that gets destroyed instantly, but
what?
Defo is making one hell of an attempt at holding on to Bath. 2 down already, and with that, he's got an upgrade for himself.
Yeah, a rifle in hand, especially in towards Showers, is a horrific position that Big find themselves in. They've got to try and reposition, but with an open plant, they really needed that Showers control, because now there's only real angles coming in from mid. You see the smoke going down, a close angle played as well. A trade here would be fine, but actually, Aslan gets away with it. Doesn't manage to fall back completely, still keeping the advantage, but now it swings into the favor of Big. Time ticking, but Chronicles found another, and the trades are effective. He's even gonna, I don't think I've seen that. He got the finisher now on the other side of the map.
And it's sorted. There we go, diffused on up and closed on out, 3-0. And you know, coming into this round, even better for Mech. You can see those credits, absolutely off the charts. You had 3 players who didn't even need to buy shields going into that round. I think Chronicle had like 26 out of 50. So I'd imagine that, well, there's a reality where maybe he doesn't decide to fully invest into that. He's playing in hookah. You know, you're going to be in a lot of trouble anyways, regardless of the fight you're taking. So that was a huge moneymaker of a round for Mech. And with 3-0 on the board, this is just ridiculous. The bonus was strong. The money is now strong, and Big are just about to take their eco. I mean, this is tough. Mech have got everything they could possibly want to deal with this eco. Even upgrading Chronicle onto the Judge that we talked about earlier.
I hate that that's upgrading, but sure, I do agree. Here we go, though. Twiston looking to work a little bit of magic. He's managed to take at least a bit of control with the Bucky. He's not going to catch him, but Musashi, well, there's only a slim line between getting shot in the face and escaping, but that's twice now. He's been caught. They're actually going to throw in a showstopper, and he's survived. 3 HP, he gets killed by a blast back. That's unfortunate. Judge has been forced back. Aslam will at least be able to drop 1, but getting any more costs from this is going to be pretty difficult. Shadow still isolated.
A headshot. Aslan got a headshot from there. He was like 1 HP. A sliver of health as he went in for that.
If I get a plant from this.
They've got an extra kill. Plant out of it. Prowler should secure that for them.
Maybe,
no, they've got it. They've got the plant down.
Planted.
I mean, damage even possible here for Looker. Unlikely that ulti even comes through. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Still a decent round. Like, it was somewhat of a recovery, but I'm not sure how much I really care about 2 kills in a plant, all things considered, with the way the last couple rounds have gone.
I think getting rid of the showstopper is definitely nice.
True, yes.
But there's still going to be an orbital strike online for the next one. This is where Big have to step up to the plate, though. Like, you've got yourself Nightfall, which is an ult taking over a site. It's so powerful. Orbital strike, another one, which is just huge for clearing out angles. I wouldn't mind seeing just a straight up A or B execution, like without too many like defaulty fallbacks. I am intrigued though by the fact that Shados is currently holding an operator. Don't get me wrong, he can do it. He's just not the player I would have expected.
And, well, Defo's gone down. Musashi opening things up right away with his tour de force. And putting Defo on the back burner. The A site now needs a rotation. Redgar's on the way to help out. You've got a bit more of a passive play out of Nats because he's got to be worried about mid plays. Gonna be worried about a tour de force coming up there as well. So that one way is certainly going to help to secure that. He's gone into it. He is starting to make a play up and around. Standing on top of the boxes. Prowler pushes them back. Nats good for 1. Oh, but he overstayed his welcome, Tom.
Redgar now is going to be revealed as well. They've thrown the Seekers in. Everything just going through to try and find out that little bit of extra information. Prowler not doing that job, and well, they've been forced out completely. Counter ult just to try and deny any sort of plant, but ultimately still a very good position for Big.
Plant down with the orbital strike post plant. Still a molly to work with as well. On for Looker, flash for Obnox. I mean, there's a ton here playing through utility, fighting their way up, and then of course his tour de force. It's already ready to go again. Got support up close, and with Looker down, look, they need to deal with him. They've got to get Musashi out of this position. They don't know about the second player though. Now they found out the hard way. left down to just shade us, and that orbital strike's already won the round. Unless I don't know how Aslan survived that, but alrighty.
Yeah, I think the main thing I'm curious about in this round is at that operator. I know it sounds a little bit weird considering how the round went, but Defo's initial spot seemed like a prime spot to put an operator. Like, he's up above, holding mid, waiting for someone. Right here. No, we're throwing it in onto long instead. Like, that perplexes me a little bit. But yeah, great round from Musashi. Able to get a lot of work done, throwing a couple of ults, but they've earned up a couple more. Quiet start for Twiston is definitely a little bit more worrying, especially how good he was in map 1. But the fact they're on the board is the most important thing here. Are they just running? Okay.
They were, but it slowed down a little bit. Same sort of early engagement towards Bath. Again, going to be prompted to fall back. Nats having that wall up is a little bit too much to push through a lot of the time. And Aslan doesn't want to be on the other side of it, completely isolated from his teammate. I like that. So you saw obviously the delay of coming around the corner, knowing that it's just going to be destroyed or you're going to have to use it. Oh, nice position from Defo. I mean, using the wall as cover almost.
Seeker's actually going to be popped. Really, Mech are starved for information right now. They want to know where this push is going to be coming in. You can already see the rotation straight away from Redgar. He's going to make sure he's in spot. A single kill for him would also, again, put Nightfall online for his team, which, especially in these late round scenarios, is going to burn so much time off the clock. You're not going to go running into the site when you're completely deafened. Seeker's now used by Big to try and garner a little bit of extra space. Twisted, no, he doesn't connect. And actually, Chronicle's going to be able to hold on to Hookah. No, he's not. Never mind. He's dead.
Just seconds later, he falls. Shadow somehow still alive, but he got revealed. He's running around, and everybody on Big was just flagging that, ready to take those duels. Nats has avoided the flash at least. He has a gap to walk out here. But look, with 4 players to take down, all these different angles at the wrong time against him, 2 away from ultimate, no orb to play with, wall already used up. I mean, we can't really keep going. I think that's about everything that's going against Nats. But as you can see, quite a comprehensive list on that. Catch one on the way out. But even then, Tom, you know, I almost feel like 1v4, you want to save that rifle. I don't think Mac have that much money anymore.
He definitely didn't. He was only on 500 credits, so it's going to put them in a pretty weird position in terms of their finances. And that's the thing, like a Viper's Pit and him with a rifle would have been a lot more valuable if he could have just got a kill and got away. So yeah, well, I guess
would say, to add to that, Tom, with your teammates not having rifles to play with, I would say giving your teammate the rifle and having a judge or something like that is even more value on the other side of the map. You've got a rifle now to back it up or something. So it is just a weird decision. I can see the logic of going, hey, well, I can play inside ult with a Spectre or something, but I guess this is just a round that they've accepted they're going to write off. And Defo's bought a hero rifle, so kind of,
yeah, he had some extra credits, so that's actually fine. It did, like, just to try and do some damage in this round, but already managing to get the opening pick. Now, you can never doubt Mech in these sort of rounds. There's always opportunities for them to find something with the pistols, but Defo's been good so far. Like, definitely been very aggressive in the way he's playing this defense, but opportunities here. Crossfire being held as well. They do manage to clear both. It looked like it could get shaky for a second, but in fact, no damage done on either of the players as they swung. Good double clear out from Big, and well, now the round looking in their favor.
Mech are going to attempt to flank, but unless Musashi goes down, it's going to be caught in the coming seconds.
They're trying to catch the planter.
I think they are. Nade. And Twiston seems to have an idea that this is going down. Here comes the util. Here comes Twiston. Util does go through, but it hasn't caught him, and so down we go. Twiston was even finding that with a shorty in towards spawn. Of course he was. He is Twiston.
Okay, so this time Nats is just going to save. Free operator.
They've run the numbers.
It's probably worth the finances. They're not going to be able to buy that into the next round, or if they do, it would definitely make things... No, it's... Really? Maybe they just don't want to play an operator. But even still, like, I feel like if it's free, it's something to bring into the next round. I guess Nats really doesn't like a save.
Oh, man. If Twist and he doesn't have time.
I don't have time.
He is painfully close, though. Yeah, that's a very strange decision.
Especially Redguard's a little bit low on cash as well. Like, I don't know. I feel like especially when you have someone like Defo playing so aggressively. Shados even had an operator, so it's not like it's something that you can't play because they even bought one. So not to save it, I don't know. I guess maybe Nats wouldn't have had enough for all of his extra utility alongside it, but I think what, he had 1,000 in the bank already. He still would have had over like 2K.
He has Viper's Pit as well. Ultimately, he could play a Spectre dropped over from a teammate.
Someone else could just give him an operator. Like,
exactly.
It's not even like that was needed.
Not. See, Tom, I'm in a tough spot because at the end of the day, this is Mech, and I give Mech the benefit of the doubt 9 times out of 10. It's just I can't wrap my head around that decision. I guess it does come back to what you said as the best I can put it to words, that maybe Mech just don't want to play that operator on the defensive side. Let's see, I guess, how this round pans out. Certainly a strange scenario. So what is Redguard's going to play the Spectre? Okay, but Redguard's also here, so he can be inside this Viper's Pit, and this is completely fine. I like this. Once the low buy player can kind of play around this and have it to work with, it's a ton more valuable. Either way, Big are moving towards the other side of the map. They're going into B.
Yeah, they're going in quick. Twiston leading the charge. He might actually get a second one here. He would have probably got both, but Musashi was just too quick on the entry. Big looking good on this attacking side. Twiston, he's going to run back through the snake bite to try and find someone with a shorty. Absolute madman, but he might be successful. Nats has shut him down. Has pushed through, though, with Lucka behind him. He's already looking to put this round to bed. Nats still fighting, still swinging, still trying to get something done from this round, but he might need some help from Redguard.
Wow, this is been a convincing enough round out of Big. I like that they changed the pace here. They go direct into B site, blitzing through. I do wonder how much of that comes on the back of them knowing the pit's online on Mech. You notice that they put that pit down immediately. There was no waiting for contact for anything like that. And I do think, though, it's also very...
Keep your eye on target.
Yeah, they're keeping those. I was sort of hoping someone's going to right-click on them, but no, they've got 2 Buckies and a judge.
If they win this round, I'm going to be so sad. Like, so sad if they manage to pull this one off. And on this map, it's possible.
Defo's got a showstopper. That's the key thing.
We'll see. Like, some reason, I just have a feeling that will do nothing and they'll still win. Like, that would be the most Mech way to win. You got Chronicle deep already within Hookah, so that's not going to be easy to clear. I will say Big have been incredibly methodical so far. They have not allowed for any of these cheeky angles, these crossfires. They've had good utility. Their double peaks have been really strong. I feel like they have a lot of faith in the calls that are being made, which is one of the most important things you'll see in all of Valorant. They know there's a shotgun there, though, now, so that's something.
You also know that it's Raze, and I think that's a big part of why they're deciding to go somewhere else. You know, blitzing out through a choke point against a Raze with a Bucky and a showstopper. That's a pretty quick way to lose a round, and all momentum already gained in this series. Big taking things elsewhere. You're going to have the Boombot to clear out Hookah, and that's a big, big problem for Chronicle.
30 seconds
Playing
left.
inside of here, Judge in hand, waiting. Prowler catches him. The Judge spray, not good today. Big dealing with that, dealing with Defo as well. Showstopper removed. Well, Tom, if they're going to win the round now, they need something big to happen.
For God's sake.
Spike planted.
Oh, Redguard, it's just getting overwhelmed. There's so much solid utility. I think this Sky Fade combo for Big has been genuinely superb. The amount of times that you've seen a peak come out for Big where someone isn't stunned, I think is a lot less than the ones that actually are. Like, the Prowlers have been fantastic. You're seeing the Tasmanian Tiger as well, just catch people, the flashes. the two initiators on this squad are just doing incredible work. And okay, sure, they're currently at the bottom of the board. Musashi's finding insane entries all the way through. Like, this is why, like, Ryan brought it up. They said it last week, or maybe it was the week before. I just love seeing him on this agent. I want to see him on this agent all the time because it works for him. And he's having a field day.
That's it. It's hard to argue with the results, really. As you said, Musashi, he's feeling ill, but well, he's playing sick at the same time. You look at Mac.
Somehow I knew that was coming.
Yeah. Yep. From the start of the day, I saw the tweet and I was like, oh, I hope he has a good game.
The desk said 4 and 5 rounds. 2 different opinions on how many would they be needing on the attack. There's still a few more to go for Big. Now, Mech need to step up. They've always had their issues on this attacking side. We saw the last time they played it versus Na'Vi, they only managed 3. 2 of them came off a force buy in round 2, which then gave them the 3rd one. So they basically won 1 round on their attack. Lucker has just double entried. Maybe made a statement about his stats not being the best so far, and he's decided to take things on himself. The thing is, though, the rest of the team are not just sat still. They've already got so much control. They got a player in lamps. They got a player deep pushing in towards B. They got hookah control. Like, there's so much opportunity for them here, and Aslan's even managed to get him behind.
That step was heard coming back up towards hookah. Shados knows there's a player outside of here, but when this plant comes through, I think he's going to forget all about it. You can see he's being hesitant. Okay. So what's clear here is they're not going for it. I was thinking they turn tail, run towards spawn like real quick, and Twistin opens up that flank window, catches them on the way. Instead, they slow it down completely, but that works as well. Twistin now has them contained, along with the players in spawn. He's being caught. The rest of the team comes in. Remember, Big have got all the money in the world. Look at the economy on the 3 players we can see. They're just below 8K. They are looking, they don't care if they lose their weapons. They are looking to take these guys down. And all of them, well, Aslan and Obnox especially, they want their ulti orbs. They're happy to trade it out if they need to. You know where Shados is? They're chasing him, and they've caught him.
Yeah, dropping another gun. 6 rounds in a row now, I believe, as well for Big. So absolutely slaughtering Mech on, as said, the side that they're meant to be the best at. One of the strongest defensive teams we've ever had in the VCT. Masters 3 champions finalist. And Big, as said, they have never won a game in the VCT, and they might be about to take one of the biggest heads they can. And actually, I don't know what this will do for the group. I believe it'll be quite a bit more interesting. I'm sure the desk will definitely talk about that one, but although Mech would still be in a decent spot, I question if it might actually come down to their game versus Liquid.
I had a look at it from just a surface perspective. I think even losing this, they're still safe enough. They're still likely to qualify. But it certainly does muddy the waters a little bit. Here comes the ultimate through. Looker goes down right after popping that. Spike is down in the open. And while this is a pretty tough one to recover for Big, look, they've already got 6 rounds on the board, but 7 ain't looking too likely right here and now until Twistin decides, you know what? I'll do it all myself on this one. Nade through. Maybe a little bit of damage. Maybe not.
3v3. One of the better opportunities within the last few rounds. Twistin patient on the peak, but actually Chronicle almost ego swings that one and still manages to win the battle. Musashi, so clean. Every single shot seems to land on the head. Chronicle's got to be a little bit more wary. He's even been able to teleport out with the spike, but this might just be used as bait. Try and pull them away. In fact, this rotation is all just to try and pull off the remaining players, as he will now walk back into the B side. It's a bold play from Big, but I love it. They're going to have a free after plant. Obnox even just going to rotate straight back and leave Mech looking like fools.
That is just fantastic. I mean, you can see, because there's a player on A making the noise and everything, they're 100% locked in. They're like, oh, we've gotten here before them. We've read the rotate. This is our round, guys. But well, things just got a little bit more complicated. Flash doesn't pop. Musashi a little further back, and he TPs out successfully, safely, making his way to Hookah. And now it's on to Obnox to stop this flash going out. Again, not going to be popped, and this time Musashi's punished. So is Obnox. They've got it. I think. Oh, that's close.
It's
Maybe
gonna be
not.
very close. I don't think they do. Oh, just enough time bought on the clock by Big. They're gonna have themselves 7 rounds already on this attacking side, looking like a bit of a death sentence at this point for Mech. And just looking at like the statistics, I think without the win here today, so with Big getting the win, there's still I think it's a 62.5% chance that Mech will make it into the playoffs, but it does give opportunities for other teams. So I'm still a little bit wary here. Like, this is not locked in. This is not like a squad that like, for example, if you look at a Guild or a Liquid who are in an incredibly good spot, it will, of course, rely on other results and things going on elsewhere, but Mech could have had this done basically today. Fast-paced, though. Big looking to try and close this one in style already. So much utility through. Chronicle still gets a kill, though.
Musashi down. That's a solid defense without having to really risk anything, without anything thrown away. Even more going to be done. That's ridiculous. Chronicle needs to stop now, though. He's got lit down to 2 HP, so you're going to have that same heal going down on the other side to bring him right back up. See, it's going down an elbow as we speak. It does open a bit of a window for Big to step forward.
Well, look at Twistin.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, right? Stepping forward other side, you got Twistin. Defo's waiting for him, though. I mean, these teams are mirrored up at the moment almost, and the battle of the raises, this is Defo's. It has to be.
Yeah, now things become a problem. I think Big were fairly reliant on having that rotation, or at least having someone coming in on the flank. Instead, I think they're going to realize that likelihood is they're pushing into a stack site here. Chronicle on the cross, but taken down. Aslan will get the opener. Shados now takes his position back, but also gets swung on. They check it again. So methodical from Big, making sure there's no mistakes, no slip-ups, no space. And they're going to have an afterplant.
After planned orbital strike. This could be absolutely huge. Big in a position where they can't really get off the site, though. They used a flash up, but now they're challenged on the cross. Nats punishing it, keeping them contained, and Aslan's got to do it all by himself, and he just cannot get it done.
Even still, 7 rounds in a row for Big. 7 rounds on the attacking side. As said, the last time that we saw Mech play this map, they really, really struggled on the attack. We had a rough performance out of the likes of Defo, 0-6 in opening duels. They need to show up. I guess that's the way I'd put it. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Big have had an incredible game, but they've had good games throughout this tournament, even though they haven't necessarily managed to win them. But the favorite, the bigger teams, the teams who have been there and done it before have always come across the line. Right now, Mech are going on to the attack side of Bind, and they need themselves a big half. They need a large half.
Yeah, they need a convincing one, that's for damn sure. Don't want them to come in and make a mockery of themselves. You know?
Oh, God.
Are we not doing that? Is that another thing? Prowler's on its way through. It's caught the brim way back, but the Molly is going to delay them on the other side, meaning the Boombot then seemingly going to be used up to clear out Hookah. A lot of utility being burned up. A ton, in fact, the C's nade everything. I mean, this is a Molly from Chronicle, or from Aslan, excuse me. Avs have swapped, of course. And, well, that's a worthwhile trade. Oh, but they're pushing up now, and Aslan's caught on the other side. Oh, he won that. Okay.
Chronicle was having a nap. I don't know how he manages to not get that kill. Musashi still in an aggressive position. Oh, it's shaky. But he does manage to get away with it. The aggressive players managing to fall back, but they have taken a lot of damage along the way. Still, though, you're going to have this close angle held. What is that from Nats? He's just gone swinging, and he's going to try and wrap around, but still Twistin gets away with the kill. Switching back to the shorty, and he will close it out. There are pretty much 3 fights in that round that Twistin should not have won, and somehow he takes all 3.
That has been very much the story of this man in a lot of rounds. Look at this.
He turns it and then just closes it with a shorty onto Shados as well.
And that was just
The
a panic
first one's
pickup.
just as ludicrous as well. Like, Chronicle, I don't know. I would have bet my house on that guy winning that kill, so.
There was an arsenal at his feet. He just flicked down, picked up, you know, he's just whatever weapons there. Oh, shorty? Okay, cool. Yeah, I can work with that.
Here.
Wow. Musashi spotted them coming close. That's the easiest kill of his life onto Nats. Of course, this being a very low buy round for Mech, you don't even really need it to be a headshot. Just a body shot more than enough when it comes to any duel that Musashi takes. I like that we're already seeing them trying to destroy some traps through the wall. Maybe with a bigger weapon.
Oh, minute left. I think, of course, that was an attempt from Nats to do one of the Nats plays we've seen on this map in the past. I think that was the only round, or one of the only rounds they managed to win on the attack, was him sneaking his way into the A site. Didn't work this time around. It seems like, once again, Big were prepared for it, and again, we're just seeing all of this utility used to clear angles. Defo does still manage to find one. 40 seconds left on the clock as they look to try and pincer in towards the site. Aslan has the molly ready, prepped to try and just isolate them from being able to make this split. It can also cause the rotation to come through, so by the time they get there, Twistem will probably be here already.
And they're still looking to commit on this one. Booker popping out the reveal. Trying to haunt their dreams, see if he can catch a quick frag. In we go, Aslan. Alrighty. Tidied up nicely. Yeah, for Mech, there wasn't a ton of hope in that round. It's one that they can definitely shrug off. This one, not so much the case. Full buy coming through. All the weapons you could possibly want. Hopefully they'll make a bit of a better attempt at it this time around. This is surprisingly worrying, Tom. Not what we're used to seeing out of Mech at all. And we've said, you know, coming into this series, I think I said that Mech, actually, even going back to the show we did, Tom, I said that, you know, Big Mech, realistically, Big need to have the best game of their lives. They got to play better than they ever have to win. And Mech need to play Mech. Need to play a normal day.
Yeah.
Right now, though, they do look like they're off form. This does not look like the Mech we're used to, and Big are showing up. This is a scary reality.
I've been... Oh!
Okay. All right.
He just uses the Prowler for info, and Chronicle's gone. They're Big. By far the better side in this matchup so far. I still am just waiting for Mech to, well, turn it on. It seems to happen so regularly, but this season they've looked shakier. They've had their blitz moments. They had their destruction on a couple of maps of Na'Vi, but right now, not quite the case. They did well versus BBL. They managed to shut down Musashi. Defo and Shados have also caught another 2. There might be life in them just yet.
Well, we have mentioned that this isn't exactly the strongest of rounds. And Big, well, that is a... Oh, is Nats expecting it? He's going in to check it anyways. A bookie that he's up against.
No way!
Twistem's got him!
Every time he's now got a rifle. He's found the kill onto Redgar as well. This man is just so impossible to kill. Yes, Shadows, run for the hills.
Obnox is here.
Get yourself away, but his teammate is waiting for that drop to come down, and Twistem's hot on his heels, chasing him round the corner. They have got him locked into the site. He has to plant within the tube. He has to plant hidden to try and avoid these players attempting to pull off a 1v2 that never should have been needed, and he's not even going to come close. This team is looking unstoppable today, and well, Mech have just been mech'd.
All of the pieces are just fitting together perfectly. This is the best face that we've seen from Big, period. Since the very beginning of this roster, they have not had a showing like this in my eyes. Up against Mech, and on bind and everything. Even coming down to these just ridiculous micro timing plays. They needed all the pieces to show up today on Big if they were to have a chance, and they certainly have. Over on the Mech side, they're leaving us wanting more, and well, they haven't got a lot of chances to bring it to the table. This is another low buy round, half shields, weak weapons, but they have got some ultimates close, Seekers online, but They've got to deal with these players with these stronger weapons. A missed shot though out of the off.
The Chronicles just burned to death. They're trying to close the distance, and while Shadow still managing to find one more, but it is just falling apart. Obnox now steps up with a triple of his own. 2 away from Big having their first ever victory in the VCT. It might not mean a lot to many, but Zesht right now, cheeks clenched, smile on his face, praying that they get it over the line. And for the Mech fans, well, as you said, I think they're not going to be enjoying seeing the team they've seen today. That's for sure.
No, it's certainly not a pretty face, and we can talk all day about you know, the difficulties facing Mech right now. I think we've been there over the last couple of weeks. You know, we've certainly told that story, and I think it is something that you certainly have to give them a little bit of slack in the current climate. But for Big, you cannot overlook how big of an accomplishment, no pun intended, this is, because for them, nothing has been working. As an organization, they've never been able to field a roster, even when they looked promising, that actually got results, that actually found those big wins. And right here and now, this could be it.
Well, Defo's going to start this one off, and until that line is crossed, we can't count this one done. Mech have always been fantastic at comebacks, and unfortunately, Big have always been known for choking. So this is a match made in heaven for the Mech side. No one really going to be caught out by the Nightfall, but it will force them back off the site. Showstopper as well gives them even more space, or should do, but they're actually going to counter with an ult of their own. Seekers obliterated, but Aslan rotating him from behind has found 2. He's delayed things that little bit further, but Redguard just steps up huge.
Very much so. A 3rd kill to close it out. And Mech will clock up another round, but we saw this in the last map, Tom. We saw Mech start to look better, start to build up their rounds, and they were stopped. And that stop happened when they were on their defensive side, right? Now they're on their attack. They're calling the timeout, realizing that, sure, you find that round win, but the job ain't even close to done. There's so much to work towards, and in this round, Tom, they've got a big threat. And funnily enough, the threat is that Musashi doesn't have money. And what that means is, unless someone goes down and he can grab himself a rifle or something like that, more than likely, this guy's looking for that ult orb early. And if he gets it, first of all, that means you're looking at early aggression down one of the extremities, more than likely. And if he gets that, tour de force is online. Musashi is unbelievable. He's having a great game right now. And on a chamber with a tour de force, you are looking at him winning you the round. Not Big, him winning you the round. A shocking number of times. So,
yeah,
I'm worried for Mech, and I like the fact that they've called the timeout here just to catch themselves before they fall.
But yeah, I think although the economy of the game slightly in the favor of Mech right now, even though Musashi has actually been given just a straight-up operator, but also the ult economy is in Big's favor. So they're going to be sat there with an orbital strike, a showstopper as well, like both on players that have been highly impactful thus far. So I see how this one goes. It's patient from Mech in the early round, waiting for someone to make a mistake. They're going to challenge early in towards the showers, and well, they will get a little bit of information, but Chronicles sat in his corner again.
Well, Chronicle down. A little bit of early aggro working out in their favor. Big pump the brakes. They've got this wall to contend with, and this gives a massive problem to them. How many times have we seen Nats use this same wall and orb to cross over, take control over lamps, and be that annoying player late? They've got 3 players on Big on the A site. Practically all of them are trying to deal with this guy. They're worried about him. They're watching for him coming up behind, coming up in front, as could be the main threat. He's got the angle. Nats taking Twistin down. This is the problem with this guy. Even when you commit 3 players to holding a part of the map, knowing that, well, it's probably just going to be Nats trying to work his way in. Just be careful of him. He's still going to take down 1 or 2.
Yeah, they've still got a couple of players within this site, though. In fact, the third almost rotating in. Lucker's spot. Oh, it's going to be checked in Redgar. Last couple of rounds, it seems to be the step up from him. Oh, it doesn't quite work out for Nats, but he is going to be able to delay. They need to get this plant down. If someone could stop it, that might give them the chance, but it isn't going to happen. Redgar, again, 3 kills. Hasn't had the most impact in this game so far, but the last couple of rounds, definitely the difference maker. Musashi just looking to hold on to the operator.
Of course, if he does go down, he'll have the tour de force, so it's not the end of the world. But Big have got the big picture to look at, right? They've got the long road ahead of them. And so, woo, run for your life, Musashi. He's coming back.
I don't think so.
He's looking for some fights. If he can make it to the TP, he might be home free. And it looks like he will be.
He gets both now. So that's him with tour de force and an operator. Like, he could easily drop that over to Twister and really bulk up what would have been a much weaker investment for this next round. So yeah, this is definitely going to make things interesting. In fact, you could drop it to multiple players within this squad. Like Lucker, okay, maybe not my first choice, but he has been someone who's donned an operator in the past. Aslan as well was one of their duelists on the op. So there's plenty of opportunities for them to sort of make an interesting play going into this next round.
Just 4 rounds between them. It starts to look more and more doable. It's always going to be a problem if you're on that defensive side, seeing your opponents catch up on you. But I do think for them, you can sit back at this point. Realistically, you know, this round, I don't know how they want to approach this. I'd say you just throw it away, right? Like, try to find as much value as you can, of course, but save the showstopper, save the tour de force, obviously, pull that out next round as a buy, see what damage you can get done, and then fight for it at 11-8. But I think the key thing, worst case scenario, they can't allow Mech to walk away with a ton of cash. They got to punish this, like 2-3 kills getting out of this at a bare minimum.
Oh, let's see what Musashi can do. Top in the board right now, 18 and 11. As you said, he can take the risk in this round because he'll have the tour de force in the next. They're not going to go all in here. Sort of a mixed bag buy, but you still have a showstopper if they get it close. And with shotguns in the hand of Twiston, it doesn't even seem like that much of a detriment at this point. Still, though, looking like a faster take. Full-on execution coming through from Mech.
Oh, wow. Defo was right up in their faces, but that's a bit of a whiff. Big given an opportunity, already damage done. Nat's on his way back through, and he's going to catch Twiston completely unaware. A big gap in the defense. And a huge punishment that follows. They've got to wait now and see if Musashi can pick someone off.
I think they almost used that Nightfall just to mask the steps of Nats running in behind him, expecting him to be there at this point, a predictable position and isolated at that. Now getting back into this is going to be tough. And again, you almost have to ask, is it just worth saving that operator? Even if it is just to drop it to someone else in the next round, it seems like he's the last man, almost just waiting back. Aslan, though, already managing to find a kill. This is going to make things a bit more shaky. In fact, he's just sticking this, already managing to get it to half. The Molotov will be there to deny. And now I think Nat should have done enough, just making sure there's nobody within this, and we'll spray it down for the ace. It probably shouldn't have been needed in a round like this, but hey, Nats will take it.
That man's got Vader's suit just standing in the fire. He didn't give a damn. Taking it all the way home. And with the Viper's Pit online, it wasn't starting this round off, right? Look at this.
Wasn't even close.
This is where he gets it online, standing inside the fire.
The last kill gets
gorgeous.
it. It's actually the last kill of the ace.
Really, really clean out of Nats. And with that, I mean, this is the Nats that we love to see, right? It's why we like seeing this guy on a Viper. They've got 11-8. But Big were willing to give that up, remember. That was a recovery from Mech yet again. Another attempt using up some of this utility. The Seas, the Prowlers coming out, but Big returned them. to continue applying that same pressure. They are fighting for this control, and they are winning that duel so far. Already taking down Redgar. Orbital strike not landing much, and Big are finding all of the duels. They've even thrown the showstopper into this one. They want to end it here. They want to put themselves up to 12 and make sure regulation is at least going to be favorable, and they get out of it with 4 kills on Twistin, 12 to 8.
Point.
This is it. 4 rounds in a row needed. Otherwise, Mech is, as I said, they're not screwed, but it definitely makes some very interesting scenarios coming up for the groups in the tiebreakers. I'm pretty certain. I've been having a gander at the, like, our admins have been telling us all the possibilities. There is also one scenario where them and Big would match up in a 2-team tiebreaker, and Big winning this game would be the difference. So there's a hell of a lot on the line for this final round for Big, because although it may never align for them, just in case it does.
This is it for Mech. Now or never. 4 in a row. Tough task. Oh, but double TP? They're putting on the pressure. Putting on the hurt. They're right on them. Oh my, they're just going for it. I love this approach. Oh! Nets is waiting, and he's caught them both. The crunch in towards bathroom does not pay off, and Big end up in a 2v4. Mech are just pumping the brakes. They didn't even want to push off this. They were already starting the round. They were ready to sit here another minute, and they're like, oh, they're in their spawn? Oh, we'll kill them.
I can't think of many players that have a cleaner bulldog than Nats. Yeah. Again, it's a title that I don't think many players are gunning for. I don't think Twistin's even in the running for that one, because I don't know if I've ever seen that gun in his hands, but nonetheless, it now is on to Aslan. Now, both players are actually within this site. If he can get something here, maybe there's an opportunity. Already gonna get pinged up, but knowing he's here might not be enough. He's going to re-peek. A second kill already. Actually has the orbital strike. He's going to place it onto the spike. That's buying extra time. Musashi's not going to be expected to be here either. Do they check this corner? No, they don't. It's going to be right next to it. He could even just find the kill to put this one to bed. It's him versus Nats, but he can't quite do it. With seconds to spare, Nats will give them the round.
That is a disaster. I think Musashi was just a little confused, right? He gets hit by the snake bite. He's like thinking, does he swing? Does he have a spot that he can stand in safely? Like, just de-scoping for the info real quick. That's the moment the peak comes through. That little bit of confusion thrown in out of Nats puts them 3 away. Still, it's just so difficult with such an explosive comp from Big. Every ult can be a round changer. Right away, they know. Oh, they know where Obnox was, but he's still able to grab the frag.
An important start. Again, pressure in onto Hookah. You've still got that Viper's Pit available. Might be something they're going to want to try and use, but getting into position is not going to be easy. Look at Musashi's spot. So deep, it will likely be a single shot and an escape. Not wanting to overextend here, not wanting to give them back that man advantage. If he can find one here, it would be absolutely everything. They check it though, but he's out of there. Not willing to take that risk.
Yeah, worthwhile to keep himself alive on the way back through. Now he's going to be able to tag them up, but not get too much damage done. Twistin, aware that he might be being pushed on from behind. He'll deal with Redgar, come up close with the shorty, and he's got him, but it's Shados down. Nats is, well, I don't know what he's doing, but he's still alive. Taking down Looker, making his way around, up close, and into Lambs. This guy, balls of steel. Look at the control now held. He wants to make his way up behind them, creeping his way through, but he's caught. Twistin taking him down, leaving Defo alone. They've got to defuse it. They don't exactly know where he is. There's one caught. He's still dancing around, popping the reload. Aslan needs to provide that cover. Obnox defusing. He's almost got it, and Aslan lands the shot, closing this one out. 13-9. Big finally have a win in the VCT, and it's up against the Masters 3 champions.
are too old-fashioned at that. They take it to them on their map choice of Ascent. They go into Bind, and again, just looking dominant in that first half, managing to bring it back close again with Mech, but it wasn't enough to take it over the line. Big have just made this group interesting because it was very much possible by the end of today that it could have been done, dusted, and next week was pointless. But now there are plenty of teams in with a chance, and it's all thanks to Big. It also gives them a chance as well, even though it's a slim one.
I am gobsmacked by this win, and you can only imagine. Oh God, you can only imagine how much it means to the players themselves. I mean, they have been grinding for so long, taking loss after loss. Some games looked like they could have done a little bit better, and that's the most heartbreaking thing. But they've walked out now with a win, and there's going to be another winner today, not of the next match. I mean, even in this one. Because there's a player of the match that y'all need to vote for at home at Valley Sports.
Who will be
_EMEA
Big's first ever in the VCT player of the match? That's what you got to choose right now. So do it wisely, because you don't know, you might not get another chance to do this. Zesht is going to have his vote. I'm sure he's already ready. I think it's a tough one today. I think Twiston has been fantastic. Musashi in that second map. Lucker is the supportive element he brought. I want to leave this one wide open. I know Mitch will probably choose Lucker. Maybe as an apology for predicting Mech to win, but you know, I'm sure Lucker would definitely forgive you for that.
Yeah, I'm never going to live that one down. I've already accepted that, but you know what? It's worthwhile. If I have to cast or curse just to get Big to win, I'll do it every goddamn time. Big taking the series 2-0. It is a huge day for German Valorant, more specifically for Big as an organization. Zesht throwing a party tonight. Go on over to his Twitter. I'm sure he'll have the invitations up momentarily. For now, though, Tom, we're going to give people time to collect themselves after that remarkable result. It's break time, and when we come back, the analyst desk will be setting up our next Valorant series.
They have done it big. They take down Mech 2-0 to pick up their first ever win here at VCT EMEA Challengers. Honestly, a few years down the line, people are going to be asking, what were you doing? Where were you
I was
when
here.
Big won?
I was here.
Yes. You called it.
I mean, I had no doubts at all. No, I mean, it started off really nicely, I think, for Mech on that map, right? The defensive side, 4-0 up. They were pretty much coasting. And we said, like, you know, beforehand, 4 or 5 rounds. Big got 7 in a row.
Yeah. Exactly. It's not only that, it's the fashion in which they did it. They started, as you said, and we see the Mech is comfortable on the defense round after round. But the things that Twiston and Musashi were doing around the map just scattered Mech into pieces. And even though they were only with that single controller, they actually played with their mind so much that Mech ended up with not knowing what to do. I cannot believe that I'm saying that about Mech.
Yeah, I mean, I've not heard you scream that hard since Bonker played on Guild. So yeah, it's been
Listen,
a while.
that 4K on Icebox. Okay.
Yeah, but before we dive into everything else, I gotta say, the permutations. They've managed to lock in a big winning there. Have managed to lock in Team Liquid and Guild. They are 100% now, Kakuka, going to playoffs.
And not only that, both of them are confirmed. And for some reason, Big has a chance to making it to playoffs.
For some reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's so surprising that they lost everything until here. And now, especially about the next game, how everything can be tied up. If Guild and Liquid win both their matches that they have this week and next week, League has already done their part this one, and Big wins against BBL next week, they're done it. They're in playoffs. They're actually in playoffs. They could go to Masters.
I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Big,
I think it's completely doable.
Big to Copenhagen. It started off as a 1.6% chance, and it's compounded into something more. And BBL next week is a winnable opponent for Big, especially if they play like this. This was the time where it all came together. Everybody had a good performance, and I think Aslan as well was amazing on like the attacking side with how he was taking hookah, taking those fights. They had full map control on the attack, and it was weird to see Mech play so poorly. It was only Nats, I think, that went positive overall at the end. He looked decent, but everybody else, it was atrocious from what you consider Mech to do. They should be like booking tickets to Copenhagen, but they might not be able to now.
I mean, I know you said we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves. There's more than just that scenario Kukuka mentioned. There's a few
there's 3 of them.
scenarios where Big can make it. I'm on the train. I think, like you said, 1.6% in the beginning, 18% now. That's like a big increase. But also, if you look at the opponents that Guild and Liquid have left, they should be winning those games regardless. Although I'd say the Liquid versus Mech is probably the most difficult one in order for Big to pull through. But after everything Big has done for Liquid, I think they can repay them that favor.
Yeah, completely. I totally agree. And also, I think it's also the shape that we're going to see Mech next week facing up against Liquid. Liquid maybe feeling more comfortable, having Dreamers in, having a little bit more time to practice. I say it happens.
Yeah, let's take one more look at some of the things that happened on Bind. I don't think many people would have expected this, and I'm glad you both mentioned Twiston because, Ryan, I feel a little bit dirty after watching the things that he was doing.
Oh, there's a mature filler on this stream now. You can't watch it unless you're over 18. Yeah. It's also like Chronicle... Big had Chronicle's number throughout. They were killing him through smokes. They knew where he was going to play. He got mollied in a lot of those spots. Aslan went 8-2 against Chronicle. And Twiston went 7-0 against Shados, who has probably had one of the worst performances that he's been involved in a long time. It's plays like this. It's against an eco, but the protocols that came in from Big were some of the tightest that we've seen all weekend. It's been a little bit wonky with some of the matches, but the set plays and the ways that Big was approaching it was matching some of the other results that we've seen like this weekend, right? Big looked the most tight, especially when you say they played up against Mech and they outperformed them fundamentally.
I mean, I think that Twiston got in their heads. Like, if I have an 18-year-old kid just jumping on me, killing me with the shorty. Do you guys remember when Liquid on Haven, who was it? I think it was Yumpy getting that quick kill with the 2 of the 4s and the Headhunter.
Oh, yeah.
Super quick in the matter of a second. He does the same with the shorty. He's like shooting at you and it doesn't matter. He runs out of bullets, doesn't matter. He has the shorty to shoot on your face.
And a knife. Yeah.
Yeah, and a knife. So I think he got into their heads. They needed so much out of Nats. I think that he had a brilliant performance. I think this is just, aces, 4Ks coming on from inside. I think that he did the same also on the first map, but it just wasn't enough.
I will say on the other side though, if you are a Mech fan, I know we're kind of hyping up Big, but don't worry, there's still a chance for Mech as well. There is just one spot left though. That's the problem, Ryan. It's no longer a free-for-all with everybody. It's either probably going to be BBL, Mech, or Big. Even Na'Vi are still very much in this right now.
And seeding's still important for Guild and Liquid at this point. So Liquid, even though they're confirmed, are going to want to try and push for that first spot as much as possible. Obviously, it's more out of their hands. It depends on what Guild can do, but there's still more for Liquid to play for there. I don't think they're going to take it easy on Mech. Mech, the pressure is very much on them to perform.
You want to obviously get that free win that the first place grants you, but I think you also want to dodge the second place because you would also ended up playing against Fnatic, so kind of complicated situation.
That's if Fnatic make it though. We've seen them choke pretty hard.
You can't assume.
Come on.
I said there was going to be a big upset in this group. It was coming, and I didn't expect it to be this game of all of them. I was, looking towards like BBL and what they can do because there's still stuff to show there. Now, we were saying it with Group A. It got blown wide open. Now it's the same for Group B. We've got 2 teams that qualify, but that third one could be insane.
Yeah, speaking of big upsets and big in general, I have an interview to bring to you guys with Twiston, the man of the hour from Big. Hi, Twiston. It's so great to finally get you here with us on the show. I wanted to ask you because I know, 1, your cat is very cute, and 2, I know how hard you personally work and how much you've wanted to see all of this pay off. It finally has today against a team like Meg. What kind of emotions are you feeling right now?
We are feeling great because finally we broke the curse. We had 8 losses in a row in VCT, and now we broke it against the Master Champions. It feels really great, but it just means that hard work is paying off for us.
Yeah, it's great to see you guys on the server duking it out. I do have to ask you though, the shorty, the Bucky, the knife, are you just trying to kind of like mentally damage as much as you can of your opponents with your weapons of choice?
Yeah, let's say it's something like that.
Well,
I use this gun slot. I use this gun slot in practice as well. My teammates are always laughing because I always get insane kills with them. No one knows how, but it always works.
I was hoping that you know how. So talk me through why that it's been working so well for you. What is it about these weapons that you really enjoy using?
I would just have to say that you need to believe and everything works.
I gotta also tell you that it's your first win here, and I'm sure you're gonna be very happy to know that you were also voted by the fans as the player of the match for this series. I know that's gonna mean a lot to you, right?
Yeah, that will mean. I mean, I don't like this awards for being best player because I know without my teammates I wouldn't be the MVP of this match. So I would give this award to my teammates because we deserve it as a team. We win as a team, we lose as a team, and we helped each other to take this win today. So I would give this award to my whole team and as well Kundi as a coach.
I gotta also tell you, because after your win today, you actually have a good chance of making playoffs. So you guys need to beat BBL next week, and you need Guild and Liquid to win all of their remaining games. Does that give you any confidence at all that you might actually be going further in this tournament than just the group stage?
Yeah, I would say we are being confident really a lot right now, but we are just focusing on our next match. I mean, everything can happen. Guild can lose, Liquid can lose. So it's better if we play on ourselves and not ourselves. But I'm happy to hear that we have chance to still make playoffs. So we'll do what is in our power to make it.
We really hope to see you there, honestly, Twisted. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you and your shorty back on the server next week.
See you.
It's great to hear that takes a lot of practice to be able to pull that off on the server. It's not just like anyone can do it. Like, you actually have to put effort.
You gotta go in the range just from distance, just firing a shorty on like hard bots. I love the fact as well, like he was like evil mastermind with a cat as well. he was a killer today, and I want to see that more from him.
Yeah, I do as well. That game was really exciting.